Hallo, ik ben Charlotte. We praten hier in het kader van het naderende einde van Kleurnet met programmamakers onder elkaar. Ik zit hier aan tafel met Daniela Delgarbo en zij is programmamaakster van het Spaanstalige programma Latinlife. En ik wil haar graag vragen wat haar heeft bewogen om hier bij Kleurnet programma's te maken. We gaan het in het Engels proberen, hoewel dat allebei niet onze meest perfecte taal is. Maar welkom Daniela.
Bedankt. Thank you.
What did you learn here in the last 2 years that you did your program here?
Well, I think we have to divide all my learning process in two parts, because I think for one side I learned to do programs, I learned to do interviews, I learned to do edition with machines that were not very easy for me, especially because I suffer from a bit of dyslexia. So I fight hours the first year to really do a program. And that was in the practical part. I learned how to work with a camera. I think it was a very, very nice thing to do. And by the other side, I also learned things in terms of spiritual things, or in my character. I include them after all this experience. That because to work as a vrijwilliger, in a voluntary way, it's first of all, I must say that it's been a very rich experience, because I believe that to do a voluntary work, it's a kind of way to give our time and energy to the community, which in other words is love to the community, or to your surrounds, otherwise you don't do it. And in that way I get in touch with most of this idealistic organization that there is in this world. I think I interview or I speak, I work with them, most of them, like Amnesty International. I also did a program with with Greenpeace in Chile and in Holland. I also work with PAS, International Peace Brigades, which they do a beautiful job. I mean, very important to support these people who is doing things in other parts of the world where the respect to human life is zero. And well, talking to them and working with them, I think I clarify a lot of universal values that, okay, they were already in me, but they get a lot stronger because you understand what is the motto, what is the intention and what these people want to do. So for me that was very, very good and yeah, very fruitful, a lot of things. And that at the same time, I suppose, template your character, because you are stronger in certain things, and that's what I've been learning most, let's say, from my spiritual side.
You are originally from Chile?
Yes.
And I see you working here, and I see your program sometimes, and I help you with the editing.
Thank you.
I always see you try to make a connection with your history in Chile. You're a very...
Well, I think my work, Latinlife, was very much focused on two things. Art, as a spiritual nourishment, that is a foundation I'm working on. And so I try to get in touch with most of the artists here in Amsterdam. And the other very strong part of my program was the fight for human rights. And my fight for human rights, of course, I did it through Chile, because I know the situation. I mean, I didn't do it for Pakistan or for Congo or for South Africa, because I know a lot better the situation in Chile. And well, in any case, we all have something in common, all of these people that is fighting for human rights, and that is a common enemy, which is USA, we all know. And so that's why I focus my human rights programs more to Chile than any other country.
Do you know if your program has any effect on Spanish people here, or people from Chile, or Spanish-speaking people in Holland who see, or in Amsterdam, who see your program? Are they, do you think, more aware of the current situation in Chile because you give attention to it?
Actually, you never know if that really happened. But something I haven't been telling you is that I arrived here just as a miracle. I start those days to read this famous book called Course in Miracles that I have there. And it was for me a miracle. I mean, they called me and offered me the possibility of making this program, and I was looking around because just a week or two before I was praying after seeing a disgusting movie if I could do that, because I could do programs, because actually there was so much, sorry for the word, but shit in the screen, in the small screen. So less than 2 or 3 weeks after, somebody called me. So I thought, Jesus, this is a real miracle, at least for me. And miracles happen all the time, and they are an expression of love. And sometimes you won't see them, but when you've been putting your love to try to make it, I think that's enough. I hope some people have been getting more conscious or aware about the situation we are living in this world, in which most of us are working just for our ego, because we just want to make more money to improve our car, so we show off in a lot nicer, or to buy nicer clothes, or I think people just work for their ego. And when you do, as I say, a voluntary work, it's a lot different. And Jesus says, if one is hearing me and is safe, then my work is achieved. I hope so.
Did you receive any reactions on your program from the people watching it? Did you get letters or phone calls or?
Yes, I did get some mails, and most of them, they were very positive.
Okay.
At the same time, of course, I get bad reaction. I used to say, and this is my experience before I start here already, and is that the people who doesn't like you, or the people who doesn't find something good in you, it's very fast on letting you know. I think it's also an ego problem. They come very fast to let you know that this was bad or this is not good, but the people who likes it, most of the time they don't say
speak
much.
Out. No.
So I suppose if I get 1 or 2 of these emails, positive reaction, that means a lot.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Yes. And I think I get not very many reactions, but I get a few.
Okay. You said in the beginning you didn't have any experience at all on making television program. How did it work out here?
My experience at the beginning was how to put the television on and how to put the television off. Now it's just the opposite. I make programs, but I have no television.
Okay.
And I really am very happy with that, because I have a lot more time. And but that's not the reason. The main reason is that I don't like the way that the people of the cable work. They send me 3 times factures with wrong prices, and as I told you, I have a bit of dyslexia, so it was very difficult for me to resolve all these things, and that cost me a lot of time. I think UPC is a mix of the English, of the Dutch with the Americans. The Americans are very pushy, and the Dutch, they have an attitude. especially in question of business in this case, is like they start with negative premises. Like, okay, you earn all this money. They just make it as a statement. And you have to work on clarify that to make clear that you are innocent and that you don't earn any money to nobody. And yeah, that was the reason I end up without television.
Did you get any technical help here with your program?
At the beginning, yes, of course.
Or you just got sent off with a camera and they said, "Well, here's your stuff and go find it out yourself."
Well, with the camera, they just told me that I better use a tripod
to get a steady shot.
Everything, and that I shouldn't shoot against the lights. That was the
basic rules.
Exactly. For the rest, I receive a lot of shouts, but I learn. And I must thank Amber, who was a very good help at the beginning.
Okay.
But I really suffer.
And at what cost did you really make your program? How much time or money did you have to put in to make it every week?
I mean, in those days, 2 years ago, each tape cost 25 guilders.
Wow.
And so, yeah, on one side, but maybe the highest or the most painful cost was that I lost a few friends. And, well, there is always a little bit of competition in between people, not friends, but in between people. And I must say with a bit of humbleness that I've been a very controversial type since a lot of years. But when I start to work here in Kleurnet, I remember a few friends, they changed their attitude. And finally, they find a reason to fight with me and discuss with me. And I believe that that was the result of their jealousy. And, well, for one side it's a pity, but for the other it's good because you are cleaning up a bit your surrounds.
Yeah, well,
that was a cost. And by the other side, I also was working here, and as I say, it takes me a lot of hours, so I couldn't really decide to make a job which I could receive some money. So the cost that was that I had to make an extra effort to be in the limits of that money I received. But at the same time, it was my own choice, because I remember I was in a very dramatic moment I'm not going to go on about, but there I have a kind of turning point, because I realized that my problems were luxury problems if you compare that with people in other countries.
Of course,
they
don't
fight
even have to eat
for an empty box of cartoon, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And so I really thought, but Daniela, I mean, what is going on with you? I mean, you have everything. And I also remember in that very point that somebody once told me that you can dedicate yourself to spiritual things when you have your basic needs resolved.
Yeah.
And I think here we all have that.
Yeah.
In Holland,
we don't recognize it, I think.
We don't
but
realize that, but we all have resolved all our basic needs. So what else do we have to be worried about? I mean, improving ourselves and try to be solidaric with other people.
With people who are in more need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not happening very much lately in the whole world. I mean, people is not being very much thinking, even though I think Amsterdam is a very empathic city. And I believe, I'm convinced that Amsterdam have a very high spiritual niveau compared to other cities in the world. And I find it beautiful, the word barmhartigheid that is in the wapen van Amsterdam.
Heldhaftig.
Vastberaden. And
barmhartig.
Yeah. I think barmhartig is the nicest of them all. I really like that.
Okay. How long have you been living here in Amsterdam?
In Holland, more than 15 years.
So.
Ja, I feel a bit ashamed because mijn Nederlands was nooit dat goed. En dat is omdat I work most of the time.
Oh, you can speak in Dutch.
Yeah,
I know you can.
Yeah, but I mean, constructive criticize that I received once is that why I was doing programs in English or in Dutch when my best is in Spanish.
Yeah.
I say thanks God, my parent that give me a good education. I have a very wide Spanish vocabulary, and when you go into another language, you limit yourself to a couple of hundred words, and that's not very nice, not very good. It takes time also to explain yourself with 5 or 10 words instead of one. And so I think there was a big change in latinlife from the moment I decide to make a program in Spanish.
Do you think that's a good idea? We work at Kleurnet with a lot of people from all different cultures and languages, and some of the programs are in Spanish, in Arab, in English. Do you think that's good in a city like Amsterdam to have a platform where people can speak out in their own language, since, like you say, it's where your heart is and you can always speak better in your own language?
Well, I think it's a very good thing that you can do your program in your own language, but I think to make it richful, not only for our own community with which we are working, but with the whole city or with the whole country, because each culture seems to contribute. And so I think it will be a lot better when we have undertitles. But that means if a program of half an hour means 1 hour shooting or 2 hours shooting to make a good program, it means a couple of hours on edition, and then it means a double when you have to transcribe, which is a very hard work. Then you have to translate, and then you have to type it. Now, thanks God, we have now this machine which we can type it. Before we didn't have that. We have a very complicated one. Now, the machine, the computer we have now, it gives us the possibility, and as you saw, my last program was...
You were trying your best to put it on.
Exactly, and I think it's a very good idea and very positive to do undertitles. But of course, time costs money, and we were working as vrijwilligers, as voluntaries. But I wish that machine, or I wish that I would have been discovering it before,
earlier,
because I think the content of each program, especially the ones related to human rights, was very, very good.
Yeah.
And pity I couldn't transmit that to a bigger amount of people.
What projects did you work on during your time here?
Well, as I say, I work with human rights. Like I interview people, the director of Amnesty International Chile. I interview the director of Greenpeace in Chile. I interview some lawyers who were having the first trials against Pinochet, and well, a lot of things.
When you make contact with these people, when you want to interview them, did you find it helpful, or did you use the aspect of being part of a television station when you call them or write them? Did you mention it, like, I'm a program maker? Did it help?
Sure.
Did it open doors, so to say?
Yes, of course. I mean, everybody's busy, especially in this terrible world we've been creating with this neoliberal system in which going to the toilet costs you 1 guilder because everyone is wanting money. Nobody wants to give time for free. So when you just don't have a support like a sender, even when it is a local sender, they don't open you the doors, of course.
And is there things in your program or in your history of Latin life that you didn't have the time to do or to finish certain parts?
Well, yes, there is programs, you mean? I have some projects, yes. I wish I would have been having the time, the money, and the opportunity to do a program about HEMA. I think HEMA is a great institution.
The shop, you mean?
Yes, of Holland, and they are making an anniversary quite nicely. And I think the principle of that institution, it would have been nice to find out what was at the beginning in the speech, because that was made to support the people of Holland after the war.
It's a typical Dutch sport.
And it was made to, as I say, to support the Dutch community. Everything cost to Enkanak those days. And yeah, that's nice. I wish I would have been doing a program about the course in Miracle, which I am working with already for a couple of years, 2 years. Yeah, and yeah, there is a lot. I wish I would have been doing some program with some beautiful tales I have. Yeah, I pity I couldn't present a program of a Chilean painter called Vladimir Cárdenas. Pity I didn't have the time to show a program with Mafalda Diaz, which is a representative of the Communist Party. And about that, I want to tell you, I want to tell all the Latin American community about some activities I didn't have the opportunity to talk about. The 11th of September in the Salvador Allende Plain, there is an activity which will commemorate his death.
His death, yeah.
And so 11th of September. 18th of September is also coming to Rotterdam, which is the cultural city of Europe these days. It will come the Bafoshi, which is a ballet from Chile, to Rotterdam. And the 13th of October, there is a great activity that is made by the Foundation Pablo Neruda, Stichting Pablo Neruda. It's a program called Impacto. I repeat, Foundation Pablo Neruda makes a program called Impacto, Saturday, 13th of October. Don't forget it. Saturday, 13th of October at 8:30 or 20 hours, 30 minutes. There will be a few different Latin Americans: Enrique Casanova from Paraguay, Roberto Cedres, I think is from Uruguay, Verónica Castro from Chile, Carlos Quintanilla from Nicaragua, Luis Barrios from Uruguay. And this activity is going to take place in the Badkuip, that is in the corner of Albert Kuipstraat, so very close from the market. Is Bad. Bad means swimming pool for the ones who don't, for the Latin American who are just arriving. And it's in the Eerste Zwellingstraat number 10. So
well,
if you want to call them, the telephone is 020 020 675 9669. And the entrance will cost you 12 guilders 50. Don't forget it. Saturday, 13th of October. This Foundation Pablo Neruda. And 11th of September.
Okay, so that's a good opportunity you took there to pronounce the few things you won't have time to do on Kleurnet anymore.
We're supposed to have a program to promote them, but unfortunately Kleurnet is going away. So, well, I really appreciate for all this opportunity that Luxala give all these different ethnic groups and cultural groups, because I think it was really a contribution. And thanks to everyone here too, and thanks to you for your patience.
Okay.
My first program weren't that good as the last ones.
Well, maybe you have a bright future ahead and get the opportunity elsewhere to do your good work.
You never know.
You never know.
But
well,
we are positive about, so
we should.
Exactly. That's the only possibility.
You had a good start here. Me too, and I'm thankful for that. We only have water to cheer, but maybe we can end this.
And
very good luck in the future.
Thank you to you and to Kleurnet.
Thank you for all.
Thanks.